Greetings everyone. Myself Tanuja Raj, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Mannar Thirumalai Nayakar College. So today we are going to discuss about the concept labor costing. Who is a labor? So labor is a person who is going to put all his physical work to complete or finish a product or service. So labor is a person who is going to put physical hard work in producing a product. So that person is known as labor. So labor costing is nothing but the way of calculating how much a cost is required to produce a product, that is calculating the total cost of workers effort in making a goods or service. So that is the wages going to be paid for an employee or a labor, plus the raw material cost, employee benefits and payroll taxes that is to be paid by the employer. So this is known as labor costing, the sum of all wages paid to the employees. Next, difference between direct labor and indirect labor. It is an important concept where the main difference between direct labor and indirect labor is direct labor is a person who is going to involved in making a product or service, whereas indirect labor who is going to indirectly support the production process but not directly involved in the production process. So indirect labor is not directly going to be involved in the production process but indirectly supports the production process. So that is the main difference between direct labor and indirect labor. So here an example is carpenter and a security guard. So carpenter is a person who is going to make a furniture from a wood, who is going to cut the wood and crave it into a beautiful design and vanish it. But whereas a security guard is a person who is going to safeguard that finished product in the godown until it is being saved. So that is the difference between direct labor and indirect labor. Here the security is not guard is not going to produce the product. He is indirectly supporting the production process by supporting in through the some other work. And cost treatment, how this direct labor and indirect labor is treated. So direct labor has already we have seen, it is the way directly involved in producing a product. So this direct labor is treated as a cost of production, it is treated as cost of production, whereas indirect labor, it is treated as general expenses, as it is not directly supporting in the production process, it is indirectly supporting, it is treated as general expenses. And traceability, so traceability is nothing but whenever we are going to trace the cost of producing a product in direct labor, we can directly trace the cost of producing a specific product or a good, because it is has some, every product has some uniqueness and it is entered in the cost of accounts cost sheet. But is indirect labor has is already treated as general expenses. For each product produced, it cannot be traced what is the expenses, indirect expenses made on it, so it is cannot be easily traced. And next concept is timekeeping. So timekeeping is nothing but recording the entry and exit time of the employee in an organization for the purpose of attendance and wage calculation. So timekeeping is the concept where the entry time and exit time of an employee in an organization is recorded for the purpose of attendance and also for the purpose of wage payment. Objects of timekeeping. So there are 6 objects of timekeeping. The first one is wages of time workers. So usually wages is being given on two bases, time wages and piece wages, whereas time wages is calculated based on the entry time and exit time of workers, whereas piece wages is calculated on the basis of how many units produced by the employee during that one day. So for when the organization is adopting time based system, this timekeeping is very important. And the second one is for the purpose of attendance, to maintain attendance whether that employee is present on that day. It is seen with the help of entry time and exit time, whether it is a half day for the employee or full working day. It is all based on the attendance of that employee, which is which can be calculated with the help of timekeeping. And the third one is to ensure punctuality and discipline. If it is a fixed time for an employee, fixed working hours is given, the employee should be present on that particular time to make ensure of his work. So to ensure the employee is punctual and disciplined, this timekeeping helps. And next one is to know the ideal time. So ideal time is nothing but the time that is used by the employee for his relaxation or breaks, not, or in simple words, the time the employee is being inside the organization but not involved in production of any goods or service, that is known as ideal time. Next one is to calculate labor chargeable. So whenever we are going to charge or provide wages for the employee, it is based on the timekeeping. What is the entry time and exit time of the employee? On that basis only time wages is being paid to the employees. And the last point is charging overheads. Overheads is nothing but a general expenses made for the workers for producing a goods and service, that is also chargeable on basis of this timekeeping. And next one is methods of timekeeping. There are two methods of timekeeping. First one is manual method and mechanical method. In manual method there are two methods. First one is attendance register and token or disk method. So attendance register is a common way of timekeeping which is used everywhere. That is, there will be a note placed at the factory gate. Every time the worker is going to enter the organization or workplace, he has to sign on it with entering the time when he is entering into the organization. Whereas in token method, a box will be placed over on the entry gate. Whenever the employee is coming inside, he has to put his ID card over there to know whether he is being present or absent on that day. So when the pros and cons of these two methods is, first one, attendance method pros is it is very cheap and easy. So there is no much work on this attendance method, just one maintenance of one attendance register is enough. Whereas the cons over an attendance method is honesty and integrity is mainly needed, because the employees has to enter the correct time when they are entering. If they are not entering the correct time, there is no honesty and integrity, and there will be no proper wage calculation system. Whereas in token or disk method, it is better than attendance register, because there is no register going to be method and no supervision will be needed. Only a box is placed, and whenever the employee is going to come in, he will put his ID card over there. But disadvantages in that method is misuse. That is, an absent employee's ID card can also be inserted over there through their friends or some kind of people who are going to cheat the organization. So that is a disadvantage over them. And the second method is mechanical method, and in mechanical method there are two methods. First one is card time recorder and dial time recorder. So the difference between card time recorder and dial time recorder is the card time recorder means a card will be given to each employee containing their ID number, name, and worker identity. So whenever the employee is going to come into the organization, the ID card will be swiped on it, so that the time, date, or will be entered correctly on that machine. Whereas in dial time recorder, each employee will be given a unique number, ID number. Whenever the employee is entering the organization, he will just press the number while entering, so that the time and the ID number of the employee will be printed up. So this helps in calculating the correct time of employee, because there is no manual entry over here. It is fully of uh, digital. So the pros over in card time recorder is false entries will be avoided over here, and in dial time recorder is accurate. The time will be accurately entered, and in dial time recorder the negative is it needs a supervision, that everyone whenever coming and dialing their number, someone need to check whether the correct ID number is being dialed. Some might also enter their friend's number who is absent on that day of work, so that needs a supervision. Thank you.